This is the Phra Ruang, a Tier 2 Pan-Asian destroyer. The thing that's unique about the Pan-Asian destroyers is their deep water torpedoes. They won't hit destroyers, but they have the potential to cause a little bit more damage when they hit any other ship, like a battleship or aircraft carrier, and certainly cruisers as well. So we're going to get into the setup of the ship and the commander, but the first thing I wanted to talk about was the Shi An, which is a Tier 1 cruiser, and it turns out that all of the ship trees in the game start out with a Tier 1 cruiser. So this isn't actually a destroyer, but it is a cruiser. It used to be an American cruiser. I believe it was the Chester. So I thought I would go over the setup of the ship really quick. It's almost impossible to get a battle in standard in a Tier 1 ship, so we won't be showing that, but I thought it would be worthwhile going over the setup of the ship and the commander. The commander, by the way, is the same commander that I'm using for the Phra Ruang, so we'll go over that in a second. As far as the upgrade for the Shi An, there's only one upgrade. It's the default upgrade, and it's the targeting system mod 2. I think it was 500 credits, so it was fairly inexpensive. There's no reason not to do it, in my opinion. Firing range of the main guns is increased by 10% up to 9.7 kilometers, and that is important because you're going to find out the ship does not have any torpedoes. Here's the ammunition. It just has high explosive shells, no armor piercing shells, has your normal damage control party, and there are no boosters set up or camouflage or flags. The stats: survivability is 12,000, armor is 6 to 38 millimeters, artillery is rated at 1, and there are 6 guns, 9.7 kilometers as we saw, reload time is 6.9 seconds, damage is 2100 with a 8.5% chance of setting fire. Here are your AA defenses: maneuverability 22 knots, which is not great at all, 460 meter turning circle radius, and a 4.6 second rudder shift time. Concealment is 8.4 kilometers. The armor, you do see there's a little bit of a citadel, but you know, I still think in the ship you don't want to get hit. You're probably not going to be playing it in a standard match anyway. As far as the overview, it's a reloader, above average main battery reload speed, and the Shi An is a light cruiser with reasonably good speeds for her time, but suffering from rather poor armament and armor. The ship could act as a scout and destroyer flotilla leader. Cruisers of this class were the first ships in the U.S. Navy to feature turbine propulsion. They remained the only turbine cruisers in the U.S. Navy for a long time. It entered service in 1908, and there were 3 ships in the series. So that's my sort of review of the Shi An. All right, so let's get to the main feature of the video, which is the Phra Ruang. The commander is Ding Rushang. His base trait is Gunslinger, reduces the reload time of your main battery. And I only have him ranked up to rank 7. I didn't want to dedicate too many resources to him because I was looking for Dang Chishang, which is a torpedo specialist for the Pan-Asian commanders. So that's why Ding Rushang is only set to rank 7. His inspiration I've selected is Eric Bay for Shifty, increases the concealment of your destroyer. As far as the skills, I have Burn It Down XXL, which increases the chance of HE shells causing a fire. Second skill is Look at Me Now, increases the ship concealment rating. The third skill is Back in Stock. It reduces the torpedo launcher reload time. If I was setting the commander up for the Shi An, I would select the Warships to increase the maximum speed of the ship. It doesn't do any good to pick Second Thought because the Shi An only has HE shells. The fourth skill is smoke on the water. Increases the smoke screen deployment time as well as its dispersion time. As for the legendary skill, I haven't ranked up to legendary rank 1 just on general principles, and the skill I selected is Unstoppable, which reduces the engine repair time and gains reduced mobility with a disabled engine and/or rudder. Okay, so let's look at the upgrades. We only have default upgrades here. So first upgrade is Targeting System 2 Mod 2. Firing range is increased 10%. Main battery firing range goes up to 8.6 kilometers. Second upgrade is the artillery, 102mm 40. Reload time is decreased down to 4.7 seconds with a traverse time of 18 seconds. And the last upgrade is the Phra Ruang Hull B. Hit points go up to 8,700. Rudder shift time is down to 2.3 seconds, and you have 3 AA mounts. As for the consumables, you have the damage control party consumable. Then you have the smoke generator consumable. The duration is 30 seconds. Smoke screen dispersion time is 70 seconds, and the reload time is 120 seconds. Number of consumables is 4. Engine boost consumable. Maximum speed increases by 8%. Consumable duration is 120 seconds with 180 second reload time, and you have 2 of those consumables. We don't have any boosters or camouflage set up. As for the stats, 8,700 hit points. Armor is 6 to 6 millimeters, which is pretty darn thin, so you don't want to get hit. As for the artillery, you have 3 guns, 8.6 kilometer range, 4.6 second reload time with an 18 second traverse time. Torpedoes, reload time is 40 seconds. You have 2 launchers of 2 torpedoes each. Maximum damage is 10,000. Torpedo range is 7.3 kilometers, but they're very slow at 50 knots. Here are your AA defensive numbers. Maneuverability, 36.7 knots, which is pretty quick. Turning circle radius is 450 meters, which I think is pretty good. Rudder shift time is good at 2.3 seconds. Concealment is rated at 100, 5.1 kilometer detectability range by sea, and you will lower that if you use camouflage. Here is the armor. You can see it is really thin. Definitely do not want to get hit here on this guy. Here is the overview. Hidden. Good concealment means the ship can get closer to enemies before being detected. That is awesome. And as we mentioned, deep water torpedoes are harder to spot but cannot hit destroyers. You definitely want to keep that in mind. The Phra Ruang was a British destroyer of the R class, transferred to the Thai Navy in 1920. She could travel at a very high speed and carried a very good armament. For most of her service life, she was the most powerful torpedo ship in the Thai Navy. Entered service in 1917, and there were 62 ships in the series. Wow! Alright, well that's it for the setup of the ship and the commander. Let's go out in a standard battle and see if we can get some highlights. Alright, we're in standard, we're in polar, and this is about the only match in standard I've had with the Phra Ruang. And we're going to see we do get a pretty good result here. We do get some torpedo hits.
General quarters.
And we're just going to take out here, going around the edge of A, see if we can catch some of these cruisers, or maybe a battleship and the aircraft carrier would be ideal for me. So there's some gaps in these islands. I might be looking to take some torpedo shots in to try to take some advantage of that.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
There's the battleship right there. It's the only battleship on the red team. Each team has 1 battleship apiece. And so that is my prime target, actually. I'm just going to come around here on the edge. I've got a cruiser, a friendly cruiser following me, so that's good. And I'm hitting the speed boost to try to get out here a little bit ahead of everybody. And here you can see that the Danae is, I'm able to intercept him. I'm taking a chance here. That is a very long way for that cruiser to go before these torpedoes hit. So I don't really expect to get any kind of hits there, but it's a random shot. I'm going to stop and see if some of these ships could come into my range of my torpedoes here. Well, it was a slowdown, and now I've sped up again, and I'm going to try to get in the gaps between these islands and try to get some good targets. Those first batch of deep water torpedoes, looks like they did get 3 hits and a flooding, 2 defended flags against the Danae. So the ship that I was targeting that I didn't really think I would get a hit on, I really did some massive damage on that ship, and he's down 20,841 points. And here the torpedo targeting reticle, or the torpedo targeting aiming line, turns yellow when you've targeted a destroyer because you're not going to be able to get a hit. So I'm just going to come around here and try to target some more of these cruisers. I'll try taking on the destroyer with the main guns. So that's my only other option here. So here I'm trying to hit the Shenyang.
Our victory is in sight.
And he doesn't look like he's moving around very good. So that is great. I took him out with my main guns. That is awesome. So here I'm always looking to get torpedo hits when I'm in a destroyer, and I end up getting a destroyed ship with my main gun. So what do you know? 21,000 damage so far. It wasn't much damage from that destroyer, but every little bit adds up. So I'm going to come around here and angle toward where I saw the aircraft carrier for a second. There he is. I'm going to try to close in on him and hit him with some of these torpedoes. He's not even moving, so this looks great. And you know, sometimes when I play aircraft carriers, I will not move my aircraft carrier, thinking that I'll have plenty of warning before someone on the other team comes up to get me. And here, I'm not sure if this is someone away from the keyboard or whether he's just not using autopilot. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but I'm taking advantage of it. So I'm just going to close in on the Langley until I can get to point-blank range if these torpedoes don't hit, and hit them with 2 more torpedoes. These torpedoes look like they're definitely going to hit, so this Langley might not be around very long. Okay, there's 2 more torpedo hits, so I'm going to take them out with these 4 torpedoes, I believe. I'm getting hit by, I think it's a secondary from the Langley. I'm going to angle away. I'm up to 37,000 with those additional torpedo hits, and there is another torpedo hit. The match is over with just as quick as it started, almost 44,000 damage. Big time victory for the Phra Ruang. 55,000 credits, 44,000 damage, 2 main gun hits, and one of those main gun hits, as you remember, was a destroyed ship, that destroyer. So 6 torpedo hits, a flooding, 2 defended flags, finish in 3rd place. Okay. Let's take a look at the economy tab. 48,000 credits we made when it was all said and done. Well, that's it for the Phra Ruang and the Shi An. As you saw, the Phra Ruang seemed to be a pretty good starter point for the Pan-Asian destroyers. Kind of gets you used to the deep water torpedoes. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like it. Maybe I will try a standard battle with the Shi An. Right after 3.5 minutes, we get in a standard match. I really don't believe it. And my teammate got wiped out, so that is not good. This guy's not looking very good, so that is awesome. There you go, perfect. Alright, I think this other guy back here was not looking that great either, so he's also starting to take our flag, so that is not great. Gotta go back there and defend that. Otherwise we lose the match very quickly, so... Alright, there's this guy. I guess he was full health.
The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire.
So there's just like a big time shootout right here. Alright.
Problem solved, sir. Main turret critically damaged.
Alright, got him, but I am kind of in trouble here.